All right, we've got another submission from an individual observer here. It says, "Hello, Seth. I'm having trouble taking cognizance of the textology above. I would really appreciate it if you would share your thoughts for me and any other individual observers that might be just as intrigued as I am. If God seems quiet, it's because the teacher don't talk during the test." So right off the bat, we have two individual characters, what appears to be Brian and Stewie Griffin from the Family Guy animated series. They are equipped with some rather distinct adornments. We have a gold chain with a G, presumably for Griffin, purple snapback, and Michael Jordan's signature Nike shoes, Air Jordans. And they do appear to be surrounded by specific materials. We have a sugary soda, a goblet or chalice of a purple liquid, and a basketball. Each one of these is potentially a representative vessel, maybe for status, escape, adrenaline. These could be devices utilized amongst coping mechanisms. For even with all of this armor, these two individual characters appear dejected, disassociative, almost defeated. So coming back to the textology here, when the author says, don't talk during the test, test is not just referring to algebra or history. It's referring to tribulations or the trials in our own life. And that letter T is very significant because if we continue to look through the textology, we can see that the word test, as well as the and teacher, are all capital T's, a T3 capitalization. So we come back to the textology. If God seems quiet, regardless of spiritual belief, I think we can agree this is seemingly referring to the omnipresent force administering life. Now, in school, during a test or an exam, the teacher is not going to talk. They're not going to communicate. They're not going to tell you what the answers are. You are left to your own devices to make the right choices and either pass or fail. In school, it might be a multiple choice algebraic equation. In life, it could be disguised as, do we resist temptation or do we give in? Do we forgive or do we retaliate? Do we keep pushing forward despite the path ahead appearing a little unknown, or do we call it quits and retire? Each decision is like an answer on a test, and God, like the teacher, must stay silent, forcing us to act on what we already learned. And that silence can definitely feel like neglect sometimes, especially if we're living in a world where a lot of people maybe neglect us or gave up on us. But maybe that silence or that quiet is part of the test in and of itself, having the faith and continuing to push forward through the unknown. But we should always pay attention to the signs that present themselves and let us know that the audible answers are on their way.